Okay, welcome to Tuesdays with Gary. It's June 16th, and I have a very special guest with me today, uh, Ramy Boorom, who's with the developer of Urbn Village, which is a brand new project in Oakland Park. It actually got started a couple of years back, and it's going to look like a nice townhouse and loft community space. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Ramy. Welcome so much, Ramy.
Hi, Gary. So
Hi,
today
Ramy. Well, I see you got your dog with you. Well, I guess that means we're in a dog-friendly neighborhood.
we are. Today I brought my special fur baby named Ibis. And Ibis is going to be joining us because he loves coming to work with me and he loves utilizing the dog parks at Urbn Village. He may, this is normal nap time, so he may zone out in a couple of minutes, but he just wanted to say hi. He's more fun to look at than me, don't you think, Gary?
It's a great shot. It's a great shot. So, Ramy, how are you doing during this COVID time as far as dealing with the quarantine, and how's your family doing, and how are they dealing with it?
Well, we've been very fortunate at Urbn Village because our government officials deemed new home projects is essential. So we were able to keep working throughout the project, and which was great because we had several reservations on our new homes. And of course, the worst thing you want to do during COVID is tell a new homeowner they can't move into their home. So we are pretty much on schedule. We're running about a month behind. That was largely to a little surprise. We didn't realize the elevator unions decided that it wasn't safe to build elevators during COVID. So
Right.
we're going to be getting our elevators last. But in spite of that, we've been very lucky. We've been able to have all our workers come to work every day, myself included, and try to have some level of normalcy.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. So, can you help me understand the project a little better, and tell me about Urbn Village, the history, and what your vision is for the project?
Sure. So Urbn Village started very organically. To be 100% honest, Urbn Village started on my children's soccer fields, where I met my business partner Julian Constrega, who's the president of Magna Homes. We started talking about on the soccer field how we would go to various matches and games around Fort Lauderdale, and how we would be driving all over the place, and we were always all spread out, and there were a lot of really great locations that were underutilized, such as Oakland Park. We all drove around Oakland Park, through Oakland Park to get to the fields, but there weren't any really good close-in home choices. And wouldn't it be so great to be able to build a community there? Well, for those of you who have been around, you know where Urbn Village on Fifth Avenue is located is the old Christmas tree chipping lot. You would, for years, if you were a resident of Oakland Park, you would bring your Christmas tree here. In early January, it would be chipped into mulch, and that was pretty much what our lot was known for. And all of a sudden, we found this 4.5-acre lot was going to be coming up on the market, and Julian and I felt very strongly that it would be too good of a project to pass up to bring new affordable homes to Oakland Park. And we'd like to say when we first filed our plans and our permits 6 years ago, that we were kind of the leader that spurred all of the development in Oakland Park, because we were the first ones to come with this idea to the city, and they were so excited about us redeveloping the area.
So just to give a little reframing of that, and so our viewers can understand where you're located. So we're really talking about the Stevens Park, right?
Yeah.
Where the kids would play baseball or soccer.
Yeah.
And that would be located at 6th Avenue and also at 38th Street. So 6th Avenue, one block east of 5th Avenue. So if you go down to the 3500 block, that's where you would find Urbn Village. Is that correct?
Exactly.
So I love that sense of perspective as far as, you've lived in the community, you've played in the community, you're giving back to the community, and I think that sense of community kind of exudes at the project now. I mean, as far as the type of community you have a dog-friendly environment, you have a community that's certainly COVID-friendly, in the sense that you have separate doorways to get into your entrances or your door or your residences. You also have dogs. You have parks all around you. What is it like to live there? And can you tell us more about that community?
Sure. So there's many things that you just touched on that makes Urbn Village very unique. One of the things is that our construction, if you want to show some of the slides of how we envisioned, I think we have some pictures to share with you of how we first brought, here you go. So we first started out with a rendering of what Urbn Village would look like, which is on the right, which Gus Carbonell, who's a pretty noted architect who we chose to use for the project, drew. And then we were in the construction phase. We made this come to life. This community has all the doors that open outside. So you enter the community. This is what our community looks like today. All of the doors open outside. We have private balconies that are fenced in, but we still can see neighbors over them. And we have in the back full two-car garages that all open up around our pool area. There you go. So that our neighbors, even though we have privacy and we have all the privacy we want when we're at home, our neighbors still see us coming and going all the time. They don't all know us by name, but they often know our fur babies' names, and they all wave. We're a very friendly, real sense of community. And the jewel in the middle of our community is our pool. We have a big pool deck. People hang out there in the evenings all the time. And so what makes it unique to South Florida living is that everyone really recognizes everyone and knows who belongs and doesn't belong. To give an example, we all have like a Funky Buddha night that we do on a regular basis where we all meet Funky Buddha. And we talk about the community, and as a developer, I've organically changed the phases as we built the building with the homeowners' input through those Funky Buddha nights. And one of the things that that came out of that is we were all talking about our fur babies, and I bring Ibis to work with me, so a lot of them recognize Ibis and know my golden retriever Ibis. And we said it's great that we have a dog park, but the dog park is primarily for smaller dogs to get their exercise, but larger dogs, like my dog, really needs a dog run. So in this August, when we open our new building, we're going to be opening a 150-foot long fenced-in dog run that you can throw the frisbee or the ball to our dog. That's a great.
So not only are we talking about the small dogs for the dog park, we now have a dog run. So you've got all the amenities that nobody has, right? So you have, I take it with that dog run, that there's no size limitation on the kind of dog you can have.
No. The only limitation we have is you can only have 2 pets, but any pound limit. And what we're trying to do is bring things that are really valuable that you need, and not just a big list of amenities that a community has, that a community is then stuck paying for that no one ever uses. So I've never lived in one of those communities. I have, where we paid every month a very large fee, and we didn't use half the things on the list. Our HOA fees here at Urbn Village are around $245 a month, which is
That's amazing. That's just amazing.
And all of our amenities everyone uses.
So I just kind of want to restate and reframe that a little bit. So you've got what people want. You've got these patios that are private, but you can still see your neighbors if you want to. You've got the dog park. You've got the dog run. You also have double car garages. Where do you find that on the east side of Florida at your price point? And you also have these great work-live spaces. So I'm sure that nobody could have ever foreseen what's going on with COVID and the way it would change our lives. But what a wonderful opportunity for you to position yourself for the first-time home buyer, especially, who needs to have a work-live space, We look at places like Manhattan, and we know that Visa has 22,000 employees in Manhattan. And Visa has said, employees, stay home until the end of the year. So I'm sure that there are Fort Lauderdale employers who are giving similar instructions to their employees who are home buyers and are eligible to buy in your community. So as we go through this, let's talk about Magna Construction and how Magna got involved and the types of projects that Magna Construction is involved with. So we want to make sure that we remind you that we have Ramy Boorom with us today, and she's the managing partner of the construction project of Urbn Village, which is on 5th Avenue in Oakland Park. It's a dog-friendly community. It has all the amenities of a work-live environment. And let's see if Ramy's back online with us. There you are. Okay, Ramy. So we've talked a little bit about Magna Construction. Can you talk about similar projects that Julian has done?
Not being able to hear him.
So are you able to hear me? I can hear you. Yes, for sure. I wanted to hear about Magna Construction and Julian's projects.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Okay, so we may be having a little trouble with some sound issues with Ramy right now. Let's see if we can talk about those. So I want to start the conversation with regards to pre-construction versus existing units here. So the wonderful thing about Urbn Village is that a first-time home buyer has been given the opportunity. All right. So we lost Ramy for a minute, and she's going to ask her to sign back in. Let me just send her a text.
This is backstage.
Are you there? I see you. Ramy, are you there?
Oh. Now can I
Hi.
hear you? Yay.
Yeah, for sure. So sometimes, T-Mobile had a big blackout over the country yesterday. I think the internet is still trying to recoup and revive that. So thanks for bearing with us and your patience. I'm going to go back and.
Hearing.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
You can hear me. All right. So let's see if we can fix the channel for the hearing. Chitachi, if you want to go ahead and continue to run some of those slides, and let's continue to talk about Urbn Village. So we talked about the pre-construction and the new construction and what Urbn Village looks like now. Next slide. And this is the sales office now, which is on 5th Avenue. And I want to point out to the left of the sales office, that wonderful wood fenced-in front area of the project. Next slide. We have, in addition to a dog park, we have a dog run. And what you're seeing here are the schematics for that dog run. Next slide. Here is the project with several of its phases already completed. Again, this is going to be about 100 units. We've sold 55 units so far, and we are in the market now to bring 27 more units to the market, with 11 being delivered with a certificate of occupancy come July 1st. Next slide. Ramy, how are you? So we don't hear you. Let's continue with the the slideshow. We're going to ask Ramy to log in and log out again. All right. So again, this is the existing project as we have, and this area of dirt right here, that's going to be another work live space, and also with apartments on the 3rd floor. Next slide, please. So this is the wonderful pool area, and this is actually taken from the current sales office, which is unit number 6. It's on the, this is taken from the 2nd level, overlooking the pool. And as you can see, it's nice and private, lush with foliage, and you can see all the privacy that this community affords. Next slide, please. Here's another representation of one of the amenities that the project offers. We have a 2-car garage, something that most projects in Northeast Florida, and certainly on the east side, don't offer many residents. As we continue to go through the slides. That's such a wonderful video, and we were glad to share that with you guys. So Ramy, how's your sound check going?
Now I can hear you. I don't know what happened.
That's all right. We're glad we're back. We're back. So we were starting to talk about the projects that you have that you offered as pre-construction, and now we've got another opportunity. You've got some project that you're ready to deliver with a CO come July 1st. Can you talk about the advantages of buying something pre-construction and what you've seen in today's market?
Yes, for sure. So finishing all of the development on our south lot and jumping across the street to our north lot, we are now finishing up building 3. And I'm really enjoying showing the property to new homeowners or prospective new homeowners who've never bought before. And a lot of the things that we're pointing out are very unusual in this time. One of them is the obvious, which if you open up any newspaper you see, and that is the interest rates are crazy low. I can't believe what people are now getting securing mortgages for, and it makes perfect sense to buy now. But the other thing is that people don't realize is we've done a really good job of making new friends with banks and title companies in our community, specifically Valley Bank and Apple Tower Title Company. And what that enables you to do is, since we've done over 25 closings with them both, is take advantage of the very best financing package you can get on the market today, and be so easily qualified. You can be qualified literally within 24 hours by Valley with us. And if you are a new first-time home buyer, I'm kind of throwing a little extra incentive, and that is I am going to pay up to $10,000 in closing costs if you sign a contract with us before Labor Day. And that virtually for first-time home buyers is once you get over the hurdle of putting down your 5% down, all your closing costs are covered. All you have is your prepaid expenses, which run
That's
about,
pretty amazing.
it's
That's
very,
pretty amazing.
it runs about,
Yeah, so 5% down and basically being able to get into a project like yours, I mean, the payments have got to be insanely low. You know, you're right about those interest rates. They've never been this low. It's almost like free money and not having to pay much of financing at all. And I really like your approach with using banks in the community. And I know that you're using a title agent in the community. And I like the fact that the customer is really the focus and the center of attention with all the deals that you've done so far. So can you talk about what properties we're going to be delivering shortly and what's available now and what's coming?
absolutely. So the other thing that I wanted to say about that, Gary, too, is it's great to find a home that you love and enjoy moving in and loving it as a first-time home buyer. But the other thing is the unique opportunity for first-year appreciation. When you buy in Urbn Village, because you're buying the first building of the North Lot, we are going to have a minimum of 3 more price increases, which means you are going to get a double-digit appreciation your first year, which I almost promise you would not see in an existing property. So that's the other thing I want to point out is the investment aspect too of buying new construction at phase 1 of the North Lot. You've seen that immediate ROI on your investment. But to talk about the new homes that we have 4 floor plans that we're offering, and 2 of them is you will not find anywhere in South Florida, I promise you. The first one is called our Live, Work, Play unit, and we've all heard that little catchy phrase before, but from where we're coming from, it's not really real. And I'll tell you why. We got a variance on our code that allows you to, on the first floor of your unit, in our Live, Work, Play unit, put a permanent sign of your business name or logo out front and be able to have people come and go every day within the community and work in your space. Most HOAs, they say, oh yeah, you can work here, but your employees cannot come in and park in the parking lot and work every day there because somewhere hidden on page 14 of the HOA documents, it forbids you to do that. And ours is a true Live, Work, Play unit where you can have your employees come every day to the property and work in your unit. The other thing that's very unusual about our Live, Work, Play unit is we have created a hallway that separates both your garage space and your front door from your studio professional space. So your roommate or the rest of your family can go through the 2-car garage, down the hallway, and up to the residence, and in no way disturb any of the working that you're doing on the first floor, which is a very unique setup that to me is paramount. If I'm going to be doing business on the first floor, I don't want constantly, you know, my puppy and the other members of my family coming in and out of space. So because of
So let's talk about that a little bit, and I want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. So by having that hallway, are you suggesting that you have 2 ways of entry to that apartment, one entrance to the workspace and one entrance to the living space?
exactly. There's 2 identical doors. One that's going to have your company name, and it's going to be one door that goes directly into your studio space. And the second door, you'll walk through it and you'll be able to go immediately upstairs or down the hallway to your garage and be completely independent of your studio.
Well, I got to tell all my viewers that this is quite a project. One thing we haven't really talked about is the loft space. There's a beautiful unit called the Tribeca. And if you think you know loft spaces in Fort Lauderdale, you haven't seen a true loft space. And Randy, you have kind of an interesting story about loft spaces. I think you have a son in New York that you kind of tested the Tribeca on. Could you tell us a little bit about that story?
Yes, exactly. So the Tribeca is the second unit that, the second floor plan that is very unique only to us that I know of in South Florida. It's a true floating space that floats with a staircase above it. And yes, my son moved to New York and was telling, I'm always trying to get him to move back to Florida. And telling me one of the reasons he doesn't want to move back is because he loves the lofts in Tribeca and he loves the New York lifestyle. So I said, oh, okay. So immediately I was sharing this with Julian. Julian, who's a native of Cartagena, Colombia, was telling me, yes, younger people in Cartagena love loft spaces. I built several loft spaces in Cartagena. They sold immediately. People love them. Let's do it in Urbn Village. And I said, absolutely. And the litmus test was my son came back from New York. He walked into the Tribeca. He did one of those jaw-dropping, walked trees, said how much. So he legitimized our efforts and told us we did a real good job on the loft, which is awesome.
That's a great story. And I think that if any realtors have not seen this project, you must stop by and see this project. So Ramy, how can a realtor come in and visit your project? What are your hours? And tell us a little bit how how realtors can see the project today.
So our project, as of this week, is being exclusively shown by Coldwell Banker, which is a great opportunity for both of us that we just started. So we're going to 7 days a week. We are going to be open from 10 to 6. We are currently in unit number 6 at Urbn Village, right on 5th Avenue. Please go to our website, which is www.5urbn.com. Or you can go to the Gary Lanham Group website, and that will connect you as well over to 5 Urbn. And come see us. We would love to show you. We have right now currently 11 units that are ready within a month for you to move in with all of the floor plans we talked about today. And so we're here for you.
It's certainly an honor and a privilege to represent you on this project. And to all my realtor friends, you will not be disappointed when you come see this project. Now, the realtors from the Gary Lanham Group each day will be at the units for the sales office, and you will also see on Facebook the agent of the day doing social media posts. So if you want to be in on the know and catch what's going on at Urbn Village, please be sure to follow the Gary Lanham Group and see the fabulous agents who sit floor there to learn more about the details of this project. Ramy, it's certainly been great to have you today. We really enjoyed our time with you. You've got an incredible project. You've got an incredible team around you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to show it to us today.
Thanks, Gary.
All right, without any further ado, I'm Gary Lanham. I'm the team leader of the Gary Lanham Group at Coldwell Banker, and we are representing Urbn Village in Oakland Park on 5th Avenue, just slightly south of 38th Street. So give me a call if I can help you. My number is 954-695-6518. And with that, I will bid adieu and thank you so much for your attention today. Bye-bye.